welcome to episode 2 of Auto Picasso TN. Well, I'm about to spray a Hyundai Genesis 2024 with the paint code of PS5. Let's get to it. Feel free to like, comment, and share this video. As you can see, I'm applying my first coat of base coat, and I'm starting out with my edges first, which is one of the key elements to painting. You always want to start with your edges first, because a lot of times they tend to get missed, and they're easily forgotten as well. So, by the way, I spray PPG's water-based paint, and the paint code on this car is PS5 once again. And one of the main toners in this particular variant was T412, which is a transparent blue. And anytime that you're spraying anything with the toner T12 in it, it's going to require you to apply at least 3 or more coats to achieve coverage. Okay, so when I was mixing this color, I mixed 30 ounces because I knew that it was going to require me to apply more than 3 coats, or at least 3 coats. And what PPG recommended me go as an undertone was G5, but my instincts told me to go G6. And so what did I do? I went G5 because that's what PPG recommended. And sometimes I do that, and sometimes I go with my instincts. In this particular situation, I should have went with my instincts. So what ended up happening was, I went in the booth, I applied G5 as an undertone, and then I came back in, I applied my first coat of base coat, and it was extremely transparent. So what I did was I went back in, I mixed some G6. Well, I already had some G-Shade G6, which is a darker undertone, and I basically came in the booth, applied that, and now I'm applying my first coat. And the reason why I continued on with it is because I liked the coverage. I liked the coverage that I was getting on my bumper, so that's what told me that I had the right undertone. And I forgot to mention, anything that you do to the parts, you also want to do to the car. You want to apply the same undertone in areas that you're going to have parts line up. So in this particular case, I have a brand new bumper that's going to line up with the hood, and I have a fender that's going to line up to the front passenger door. And I also have a rocker that I did not spray in this booth load because it wasn't here yet. And I know that's going to line up with the 2 doors and the quarter at the bottom, so I applied G-Shade in those areas as well. So as you can see, the G-Shade is at the bottom. And right now I'm applying 490. A lot of people don't apply 490 on their first coat. I found that it works wonders. And the reasoning behind that is because it gives your base coat, the color that you mixed up, it gives your base coat basically something to blend into without just landing on that dry surface and creating sand piling or seediness. So always make sure when you're blending PPG water-based paint to lay down a wet bed of T490 regular clear base coat, and it'll work about 95% of the time as long as you choose the correct variant. So basically what I mix up, I think it's 12 ounces, and basically it's 321 grams of the T490. It is, I think it's 32 grams of the T492, and then it's 47 grams of T494 reducer. And then if you need more, I guess you can double up from there. But I usually use 12 ounces. I mix up 12 ounces, and then I mix up more if I need it. Okay, so this next coat, I sped it up a little bit just to try to save time and not have a lengthy video. So here's my second coat. coat. Finally. I sped it up just a tad, but I just wanted to still show the process of dealing with a very, very transparent color and how it sometimes requires you to continue to apply coats to achieve the coverage that you need to achieve. So just like the first two coats, I went over my edges first, make sure I got good coverage, and I'm applying my last coat exactly almost like I did the first two coats. Never be afraid to angle the gun the way that you need to angle it to hit certain spots in certain areas. Because every bumper is not the same. And if you just spray like a robot, you know, you can run into problems getting paint heavier in certain spots than other spots. And one thing about spraying a color like this one that's transparent is that if you get a run, when it dries, it usually looks dark. So it'll look like if I got a run on this fender right here, it will look like a dark blue, and it will look darker than the actual color that I'm spraying. So that's something, and I know it happens on reds too. I think Toyota has a color that's 3R3 or 3T3, something like that. And I know if you spray that color, I think it's transparent as well. And if you spray that color, you always want to be careful spraying that as well, not to get any runs, because when it dries, it goes darker. I actually decided to put one coat over the whole hood just to make everything uniform, and just because I have a ton of blending room, so I'm going to stay away from that other fender. I'm going to put one heavy coat, even coat over the whole hood, and I'm going to put a control coat over everything to clear. Alright, so now I'm about to apply a control coat. Basically what a control coat is basically evening out all the metallics. So therefore everything looks uniform. It doesn't look blotchy or modelly. Some people call it modeling. But basically it evens out all the metallics and makes everything look uniform. And I just repeated myself. But that's okay. That was for the people in the back that couldn't hear. Some people, when they do a control coat, they drop the pressure, ideally. Depends on what kind of spray gun you have. Me, I'm using a DD1. and I spray at 13 psi, and I spray my control coats at 13 psi. I found that works for me. So do what works for you. When you're applying the control coat, you don't want to apply the control coat really heavy. You want it to go on with a mist, but you also want it to go on in a uniform manner. So basically just how you spray the car as far as technique goes, but not as heavy. After I finish applying this control coat to this bumper, I'm going to be moving on to my first coat of clear. And I sped it up a little bit just to keep the video as short as I possibly could. Let's get it. We are officially approaching the finish line. Last and final coat. Like before, going over all my edges first, making sure nothing's dry. Because when you're applying clear coat, if anything is dry, especially on the edges, you open up a window for things peeling in the future. And my particular body shop warranties everything that we push out. So very detrimental that everything is covered the way it is supposed to be covered, so we don't have to warranty anything that's on us. So I'm using 530 on this job. I would usually use 520, which is a faster clear, and the flash time on 520 is 5 minutes. But I chose to use 530 because I have a flat surface, which is the hood I'm spraying. And the flash time on this is 8 to 10 minutes. Flash time is very, very important. It helps prevent runs. And basically what flash time is the time between each coat that you put on. So you always put on 2 coats, and there's a flash time between each coat. And on this particular clear, it is 8 to 10 minutes. you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Feel free to like and subscribe. If you already subscribed to my channel, I really appreciate you for rocking with me. It's only going to get better. It's only going to go up from here. I will continue to be consistent and getting these videos out to y'all. Thank you.